is April. Hello, April. How is April?
Hello, hello. Hello, hello.
If I could get rid of this sore throat.
And it only...
Yeah. April, can you hear us?
Oh, wait a minute. Probably not.
Bet you can hear us now.
I have some extra red in my cheeks today.
You're welcome.
No, it's from this yuck we got on.
Hi, Geeky Gardens. How are you this lovely weekend?
Hey,
What's up?
Henry.
Henry?
What's going on?
What's going on?
Give everybody a few minutes to get in here.
Yeah, can you guys hear us? We're still waiting on a sound check.
I hear y'all good.
Good. Bet they heard that.
Mm-hmm. I'd be willing to bet they probably did. My Windstream is still going in and out, so that sucks. Her internet has been very challenging over the last at least week or so that I know of.
That stinks.
Yeah. Never good when that happens. Did you put the thing that I told you to put in your pocket back, or is it still in your pocket?
No, it's right there.
Okay. I didn't notice the other one.
What?
Geeky Garden said Bike Week in Daytona, wet leather and loud pipes. Oh, since the outage, that sucks. Is the Windstream part of AT&T? Y'all will have to bear with us. We're still fighting this yuck.
Yeah, I still got a sore throat. Neona, have you noticed that Neona's been very busy on our channel?
Yes, Neona.
Neon, that's what
It's
I said.
like neon with
That's
an
what I
A.
said.
No, it's not with AT&T. Okay. What was a thought? Yes, I did. It affected more than AT&T. Okay. Yes, I did notice that have you gone through her stuff?
I left it all out there for you.
Hey, y'all from South Dakota. Is that
That's the
our
Russian
trucker?
dude. That's the Russian trucker dude.
Okay.
What's going on,
Because
brother?
all that Russian looks the same to me, so I couldn't tell if it was him or not. You okay?
My throat's just really killing me tonight.
What do you need
A new throat?
besides that?
I don't know. I don't know at all.
Do you need me to go get you a cough drop or the
No.
On Guard?
I can get up and go get it. On Guard didn't
Well,
really
I
do
need
nothing.
I need my drink. I don't have a drink yet. Ooh.
Ugh.
You should not be doing that after all the napping you did today.
I'm telling you, this new recipe.
We appreciate it, Neona. That's kind of what he was referring to.
This new respiratory thing is, in my opinion, worse than Mr. 19.
Mm-hmm.
I was not this tired with Mr. 19, even when we got it before it was cool. And it lingers. That's the problem with all these new illnesses. You know, before you'd be sick for a couple of days.
Get over it.
And your body would get over it. Now, these things are lingering around.
Yeah.
And they're staying 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. And it makes me wonder if it's just making us more vulnerable for other things as maybe it's doing damage.
Or maybe the first thing did damage.
Yeah, maybe the first thing did damage, and then these are just repercussions.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because it's the cough is not as bad, but still just worn out.
We didn't do hardly anything today. Most of the time we spent either in a car or on the couch.
I probably slept about 18 hours today.
Well, you woke up at about 5:36. But when we got in the car at about 7-ish, you slept for almost the whole ride. So about a little over an hour. Then on the way back, you slept about half of it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's about an hour and 45 minutes. And then when you got back here, you slept for, several hours. So, yeah, I mean, it's, if you counted a whole full day, yeah. But, like, we're working on now for, from 6 o'clock till now. It's a little over 12, 14 hours. You've probably slept already 5 or 6.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
If more than that, maybe.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, probably more than that. Are you guys into alternative and secure communication systems?
Yes.
Hey, Luke, how's that fire going?
And the sore throat is what gets
well, that's what's getting you.
Yeah.
Everybody's different. Mine has just been the persistent cough that makes me want to kill myself. No. Makes me want to just scream. I'm not having as hard of a time with the sore throat because I keep hydrating and I keep drinking hot stuff and then very cold stuff. So I haven't had as much of a problem with the sore throat. But I do think part of your sore throat right now is because you're not wearing your CPAP because of the breathing stuff. And so I think your snoring is agitating it, making it worse. So
I'll try to wear it tonight.
So that's probably part of your problem. But then like Carol has run the gamut for the last 3 weeks solid. She'll start to feel better and will think that she's better. And then she goes right back into just not feeling good. This past week, she was starting to look up again. And then Thursday night into Friday morning, we were going to go down to Augusta for Blaze's ceremony. And she woke up at 4 o'clock. I woke up with her.
3 or 4 o'clock.
3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and she was throwing up. And I don't know if it was just from the coughing at this point. I'm wondering if she picked up a flu bug or a stomach bug on top of,
Pine Meadows Hobby Farm, long time.
Hello. So, so with her, the struggle all day Friday, all day yesterday, was just to keep fluids and something in her stomach because no sooner would it go down, it was, and I had to explain to her that because she didn't want to continue to eat and drink, I had to explain to her that she had to, because even when she does that and gets rid of it, some of it is staying. So, I feel like been busy making motion pictures. Ooh. So we had to kind of really hammer with her. If you don't do this, you're going to end up in the hospital dehydrated. And you're going to have to get a needle with an IV, and you're not going to like it. I'm just going to tell you right now. Especially with her coughing. Every time she would cough, that needle is going to poke, and it's not going to be comfortable. And so, I think we finally got through to her after that. And she started to, push through. And by late yesterday evening, she had started to come back to the world of the living. So, but yeah, I'm testing a mesh-tastic devices for communication and data exchange. You'll see how it will work. So far, additional hops.
Started feeling a little bit better, and we went and visited our lovely friends at Steck to kind of let them know that we're still alive and stuff. We had a good visit with them. They missed us. We've missed them. Mm-hmm. And then today...
Did you hear that Harley is pregnant?
I'm a dude. I don't care about stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah, I was so excited to hear that. She's like, I'm going to have another baby. It's another boy, so she's excited.
We were out there talking about that big honking tractor that was out there. Thing was massive. Then that was Thursday. Friday, we went down to Augusta.
Or no, that was Wednesday, I think. It was Wednesday.
No. Because Wednesday we had church.
Mm-hmm. We went and DoorDashed afterwards. It was Wednesday.
You sure?
Because then all day Thursday we went DoorDashing and you stayed here. Ladessa went and got feed a day early.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So... and that's the other thing about being sick is like our days are just kind of
I don't even remember
like all blurred together. Monday, Tuesday we were on the couch out. We apologize to y'all, we haven't put out any content, but like it's all we could do just to sit. One thing we did do, we have a big long bench for our table set in our dining room. And we pulled it into the living room, and because we were all sacked out on the couch, and we put all of our seed trays out, and we literally just would put soil in them and then take a break. And then put some seeds in them, take a break. Take them into the seed room, water them, take a break. Like it was, we were just trying to stay, a little bit productive, but not to overexert ourselves because it was... it was awful.
This is... I don't know what it is about this one that's really... really rough. We have a friend in North Carolina, and she said and she's a nurse, and that they're seeing it a lot up there, and it's taking people a minimum of 6 weeks to get over it.
Well, I had somebody, I don't think I know if I told you this, but I had somebody else tell me that she's heard it called the 100-day cough. Like that's what they're referring to it as right now. Like basically 3 months of this crap. And I'm like, that's not cool. I'm not going to deal with that. That
can't be in any way, shape, or form. That cannot be. That's got to put wear and tear on bodies.
RSV, I don't think that's what we have.
No.
Because we didn't test for it. Carol, when she went to the doctor told her that her symptoms weren't they didn't look like RSV. So, but if this keeps lingering for a while longer, we may have to go have somebody looked at and see what it is. But
well, I had an appointment at the VA, and then they called and canceled, and now my appointment's not till
June.
No,
May. End of May. I'm sorry.
May. So.
Yeah.
So I could either be better or dead by then. But hey.
So exciting stuff. I started seeing signs in our local community that early voting is happening. So that means our primary voting is coming up. So that's exciting. We'll get to do some voting on March 12th, which is not this Tuesday, but next Tuesday. So hopefully we have a local running for sheriff this time around. So that will be exciting. I've seen a couple of other names pop up on signs. So...
Well, I'll be honest with y'all. Look, I don't... and it's completely selfish on my part, but Trump really kicked the VA into high gear last time, so I am really looking forward for him to be back in the White House just for that reason. When I tell you it is night and day by the way that they talk to you, by the way that you get appointments, by the way that you get treated,
Well, the biggest difference I think now is when he was in office, the community care program was something that was offered to you. Like, if there was any kind of scheduling issues, the first thing would be, like, almost like how with, when you're doing fast food, there's, like, something called suggestive sell, where, somebody orders a sandwich, you suggestive sell a soda or fries. So when we were going to the VA during that administration, if you went to make an appointment and it looked like it was way far out, they would say, hey, if this is something that's pressing, would you like us to go ahead and send it over to community care, and they'll give you a call and see if they can get you in faster. That was the way it was done for almost 4 years. It was like 3-ish, because what he did didn't take effect right away, obviously. But then when the administration changed, that no longer became the norm.
No, you had to beg.
Now you have to, it's not even beg, you have to suggest it. You have to kick and scream to be like, hey, this isn't right. This is what needs to happen.
You have to threaten to get a congressional inquiry going. It's like, I put it to everybody like this. Just in their mannerisms on the phone. When President Trump you got very professional, very nice, polite people. Now you get like a rude Karen gangster. If it was a child, they would feel the back of your hand, because you would never let a child talk to you that way. And they are rude, disrespectful, and just downright not helpful in any way, shape, or form. And it's one of those that I cannot wait for him to get back in office, so that way maybe I could run stuff up the chain to maybe get some stuff put in permanently, because he had everybody scared. And
well, we saw an old interview. Somebody was asking him before before his first election, I believe, and somebody was asking about the VA, or he asked about somebody with the VA, and they told him, like, look, it's 6 months to get an appointment or whatever, and I will tell you, I know that sounds like it's an exaggeration, but when I tell you it's not, trust me, it's not. Like, this appointment that we scheduled back in December. And now it was supposed to be in 3 months. So that would have been March. Then they pushed it out to April. And then because it just so happens that the day that Jason's appointment is during the middle of Masters Week, specifically on the par 3 tournament day, all of a sudden now the doc's not going to be there that day. I wonder why. But now, because they didn't just call us when it was canceled, they went through the paper trail of push the button, send it in the mail. It takes a week for it to get to us. By that time, the appointments are now almost to June. So now something that should have been in March, April, May, June, now we're at 6 months instead of 3. So, it's just frustrating. We ask these veterans to write a blank check with the assumption that they'll be taken care of if they don't ever have to cash that check. And when they get back and they get on disability, or they just get care through the VA, forget about disability. It's like pulling teeth to get it. And I may or may not have told the lady when I got the news that the appointment wasn't going to be until almost June, that I now understand why we have the 22 for 22, because I imagine that if Jason had tried to navigate through that conversation that I had, that one, he wouldn't have accomplished anything, and except for being frustrated and probably felt worthless because of the way that everything was being handled. And 2, it still wouldn't have ended up with the care that he needed. And so I just am very looking forward to that if he does get back into the presidency, that he doesn't focus on, getting his feelings hurt 4 years ago, and that he'll actually get back in and resume what kind of influence he had.
It's going to be an overnight change.
I hope.
It's going to be because he's already set the standard from his first presidency, and everybody's going to go, oh, we got to go back to this, and they're just going to do it overnight. And it's sad because it was almost an overnight change when he left office, and we got
that did change so fast. Because we went from, the way that communication was, the way that tests were sent and done. Back during that time, we would have, if Jason needed an MRI, they would have done it. Now it's, well, you had one 2 years ago, so certainly nothing's changed in 2 years.
Yeah.
What? I got a new pain. Why are we not doing a new test? I don't get that. So, anyway. But enough of that. Anyway, I'm excited for the primaries for us to be able to do our civic duty, to be able to do that.
But Friday, we went down to Augusta.
It was a nasty day, but...
Blaze got promoted to sergeant, and I got the honor of...
pinning him,
and did not know that he was up for an award. He got a medal.
An achievement award.
And so that was really cool to see. It was really cool to pin him. We were in this tiny little room because it was storming outside. And so when they called me up there to do it.
And his whole group of Marine, the whole, was it battalion or whatever it's called? Company was all in there. So it was all of them squished together.
Yeah. And for the veterans in there, his company is about the size of a platoon. So went up there, and I had a major and a master sergeant behind me. And it was real tight. And we have the videos and stuff on Facebook and the pictures on Facebook, so you guys can check them out and see them. But normally when you are promoting somebody, you take the old rank and you throw it on the floor. You take it off and throw it on the floor. Well, if I'd have thrown it...
You'd have pinned another...
I'd have hit the major in the chest. And then the master sergeant, I would have hit him too. And he was very nervous. He was shaking, and I guess it was because Robin was videoing.
I don't know. But I asked beforehand, and they said I could, so I don't know. He just wasn't used to it, I guess.
And so, I'm old core, and so I fixed his lapel, and I got his rank insignia pushed through the collar. And then it was just habit. It was tradition. And I went, boom! And I pinned him in. Poof, and I felt the major suck all the wind out of the room. And him and the master sergeant. So that's a big taboo now. That's considered hazing. And Marines get written up for that kind of stuff now. And they were not expecting it, I don't think. I don't know why they weren't expecting it.
I mean, you walked in salty dog with your EGA shirt on. I feel like they should have known this was coming.
After I got it in his collar, I even said, you know what's next. And Blaze even kind of puffed up and got ready for it. And when I thumped him, it was loud.
Yeah.
It was and it was solid. It was great. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
And
I think even they thought it was. I think it's just they were caught off guard that's what was going to happen. I think for the most part, everybody gets their buddies to pin them. So it's they just pin them on and pat them on the shoulder or whatever, and that's it. And so I don't think they were expecting it. Now the funny part was afterwards. when the one guy, what was he?
He was a master gunnery
Master
sergeant.
gunner, yeah.
Master gunnery sergeant. He got an award too, so he wasn't up there, but he came up there afterward and looked at the major and was standing there right next to me. He looked over at me and goes, "Well, I guess we'll get the paperwork going for that hazing." And I just kind of
PI for hazing.
I said, "It won't be my first one."
It was PI, personal instruction or something. Yeah, so it was really funny because at the end of the day, like, and then what I thought was funny was when Owen got promoted, the one girl, she, like, got really close to his lapel and she smacked him, like, right at the edge of it. And I was like, oh, we're trying to push the envelope, aren't we?
And, they all are like, you got him good. Mm-hmm. And then everybody else was coming up to him, and they were, like, he got sergeant chevrons from one of the one from each one of the sergeants that he respects. And the one looked at him and said that, if I would have known that was going to happen, I wouldn't have gave you chevrons. I'd have gave you Band-Aids. And so, but that was good to go.
Did y'all see our special on Discovery Channel on Christmas Eve? No.
Nope. Surely didn't miss it. We don't
have Discovery Channel. Yeah.
So then we did that, and then we went out to lunch, and he got the rest of the day off. I think his
his buddy,
his boss was a major in the Army, and then his XO over his station.
She's Air Force.
She's Air Force. I think it scared the bejeebus out of both of them. They're like, you probably need to rest after that. And so they gave him the rest of the day off. I think that's why he asked me to pin him, because he knew that was going to happen. And he knew that it was going to
He knew that was the reaction he would get.
The reaction that we were going to get him.
Well, I'll be completely honest. When we got back, he changed before we went to lunch. I mean, he had his little, what do you call them, snake bites?
Snake bites.
Because it's two little prongs. And so they look like snake fangs. And so we were like, did it bleed? And he's like, oh no, but I got the marks. And it was like a badge of, a badge of honor. Like, he was like, got my marks. Like, I'm never going to understand this. But that's what was funny is we were talking to the gunny. That's right? Gunny. No, we can't call him a gunny.
Master gunnery.
Master gunnery sergeant. Anyway.
Top.
Okay, so he's obviously from old enough, Core, that he recognized it, knew what it was, wasn't too put off by it, and was telling us about some of the people he knew that had other things that wasn't just that, like got kneed in the leg.
Yeah, he said he had his Lance Corporal get promoted to corporal in one of his commands, and his dad was old Corps.
Yeah, and he kneed him in
said his dad went through the gambit with him. He pinned him, then he punched him in the arm, and then he kneed him in the thigh.
Kneed him in the thigh, yeah.
Yeah, for the blood stripe.
Yeah.
And so what do you can't do anything about it. You know? It's just one of those things. It is what it is.
It's family. I mean, you can't really, they're not in, so. Yeah. But yeah, so that was definitely fun to be a part of and watch.
Yeah, and I'm so proud of Blaze. My chest was already puffed out when I was there, and then when he got that medal.
Yeah, we didn't know about the medal.
Yeah, we didn't know about the medal coming, and that was just super awesome to hear some of the stuff that he was doing.
Yeah, because they read it's called a warrant, and they read the warrant of everything that he's being commended for, and that was really cool.
Boy's actually been really, really busy.
Were they plastic or metal? I was warned to wear the plastic ones for the ceremony. I'm pretty sure they were plastic.
Nope.
They weren't? They were the metal? Oh, shoot. Yo, what's up?
Yep, they were metal ones.
Oh, they looked plastic to me.
Because he knows I probably would have broke the plastic off in his skin.
The funny thing I liked is when they do the metal, because he gets like a little box with it, and then he gets the little bar that goes on his dress uniform, right? I am not military. Tell me
It's a ribbon.
Okay, it's a ribbon. I'm sorry. Ribbon. It's a little ribbon.
He only wears his medals in his blues when he's wearing it. Basically, it's called his dress alphas.
Alphas, right. I know that part.
Okay.
What's up?
And so that's for big time ceremonies. Like if you're going to be around the president, the Marine Corps ball.
Does he wear the ribbon and the...
No. Just let me talk.
Okay.
Okay, so he only wears those medals for like super
special occasions. Right.
Mm-hmm. Any other time on his alphas, his Charlies, his Deltas.
Right. He just wears the little
He has the ribbons.
Right.
He'll have the ribbons and his shooting badges. Mm-hmm. His rifle expert.
Rifle and pistol. Right.
Yeah.
Sounds like the only time you'd want your child's name and warrant in the same sentence. You know, I was thinking that because after the ceremony and we were all talking, the poor, what was he? The one that was shaking like a leaf?
He's a master sergeant.
Master sergeant. He was shaking like, I mean, his legs were like vibrating. They were shaking so bad. And we were all talking about it, and one of the guys that we know that comes up here a lot, he said, you know, have you ever heard him read a warrant before? And I was like, warrant? And they're like, yeah, that's what those are called. I was like, oh, okay. Because that was my first reaction was like, a warrant? And like, no, that's what that particular document is called. So, okay. But yeah, it was really cool to see. And it was really nice. Blaze had a lot of people show up. For him to, you know...
It's mandatory.
No, it wasn't. No, they made it sound like they okay.
Award ceremonies and promotions are mandatory.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, why didn't Blaze have to go to the 11 o'clock one?
Because he was getting promoted at 12.
Oh, okay. Because his buddies had to go to the 11 o'clock one, too.
And his buddies were also at the 12 o'clock one.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway. Yeah. But it was nice. There were other people there that it wasn't mandatory. Like the Air Force person. That wasn't mandatory. She was in speech class, right?
That was his XO.
Oh. Okay, so she didn't have to
be
there.
The one in Civies?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's his ex. Basically his...
I know the XO and the CO. I get it.
Well, I mean, it's very hard to explain the...
structure.
The chain of command that Blaze has.
Because
he's kind of has two different chains of command. He has the Marine Corps chain of command, and then he has his job chain of command, his unit chief. Right. And that's basically what that major and that girl in the Civies, they were his unit chief team leaders.
The major was the one with the little the
oak leaf on
his thing. Yeah.
On his jacket. Yeah.
And that's a cake eater.
Yes.
Okay. I knew that. When I saw his little thing, I was like, he's a cake eater.
And so with his unit, okay, he'll have, because he's in a joint task force thing, he'll have Navy guys, Air Force guys, Army guys, and stuff like that. Right. And so if his unit, like, because they were getting awards, they probably said, it's mandatory, you got to be there.
Oh, yeah.
That's why they were there also. You know?
Yeah, because there was some Navy guys and Air Force people there.
Yeah.
I didn't see any art. Did you see Army?
Mm-hmm. The major was Army.
Oh, yeah, with the cake eater. I like that name.
Yeah.
So anyway.
But it was really cool. It was a huge honor for me to be able to go down there.
That was really cool that and I think, you know, he's not renewing his contract, so he knew this was his last promotion, so he was able to share that with Jason, so that was really, really neat. I can only imagine as a father to a son that's pretty cool.
Well, it's also like...
These are the people that made me.
That was weird getting introduced.
These are my parents that meet my mom and dad or whatever. It was like, these are the people that made me. Whatever. And
well, look, I'll be honest with you. That Friday meant the absolute world to me. Mm-hmm. You know, Blaze is not my biological son, but he introduced me like I was his biological dad, which to me was just put me over the moon. And then being able to have the honor of, he could have picked anybody in the world. He could have picked his mama. He could have picked somebody in the Marine Corps that he looked up to, that was a mentor or anything. Mm-hmm. But he chose me. And to me, it was flabbergasting for me because, before Blaze left, him and I, we couldn't stand to be in the same room together. We were butting heads big time. And I've always just wanted the best for Blaze, but at that particular time, he couldn't see the forest for the trees with that. And knowing that, his experience in the Marine Corps has helped him kind of grow up a little bit and maybe start to see some of those trees and start to see the forest. Mm-hmm. Now I didn't do everything right. I'm not going to sit here and try to blow smoke, and say, I was the perfect parent. I was wrong. I made some mistakes while parenting. And as you get older and you gain more knowledge, you gain more wisdom, you're like, I probably could have handled that situation differently, and it could have changed things a little bit. Woo. And, we might have had a different outcome, but hindsight's 20/20.
Right.
And but the fact that he invited me
through all of that,
he invited me to come and do that, and was honored for me to do that. Was huge. That'll be one of those things, like, I'll never forget, like the day the girls were born, or the day that you said, yeah,
happy birthday.
They,
It was an early birthday present.
Yeah.
Same scenario here with my son. Him and my husband are so good now. Yeah, so that was cool. And today, we got the opportunity
Today was hard for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, we got to go and participate in a local homeschool group. This homeschool group is off the chain.
They're in Lake Oconee.
About
an hour and 20 minutes.
They got it going on, and we got connected through them through a family that we met in Emmaus, and we came pretty close to that family, and they kind of hooked us up with that because their children are very active in. Their grown children who have children are very active in that homeschool community. Well, they asked Robin and I to give a lecture on our experience homeschooling, because we've been homeschooling about 17 years, and we went from preschool all the way up into, we got one in the Marine Corps doing college, and we got one in college, and we got one knocking on the door to get ready to start doing enrollment to be in college. And so I had to do the opening prayer, which I never mind praying, but this was, my throat was hurting, and so I had that, and I had a little bit of brain fog going on this morning, so it was kind of hard to get two brain cells to touch to be able to complete a sentence first thing in the morning. And then we had to do our lecture.
Now, what was nice about that is that they had Chick-fil-A, so we were able to eat some breakfast.
Yeah,
get
that in Jesus chicken.
Yeah, you got that in your system, a little bit of fruit, some orange juice, that kind of thing. And then we weren't right away. We were towards the end. So we had a chance to really get to talking to people and listening. And so by the time we got to do our stuff, I think your brain fog had kind of cleared, and all of that had subsided. So.
Well, the panic started to set in because I was going to be giving a talk about just trying to pump dads up, to get dads more active in homeschooling.
Because traditionally,
it's all moms.
Moms are the ones that are pushing, and the dads are like, whatever, that kind of thing, usually, in our experience.
Yeah. And the very first speaker was a dude, and he was like, I was going to be talking to dads today. And I was like, I thought I was talking to dads. And so I kind of got a little bit of a panic. And, but he was doing more of the why dads need to be involved. And I was like, okay, I I can work with this. I can go to more of how dads can get involved, how dads can participate. And then the second speaker was another couple, and he started talking about how, how he works it as a dad homeschooler, and I'm like, oh.
But I think, and maybe because I knew ahead of time what they were going to talk about. And I knew that their distinction was different from yours. Because yours was more about roll up your sleeves, get down and dirty, and just do stuff with them. Like, really get in there and work the problems with all of this stuff. And our story is unique because we are not the traditional homeschool unit. I was the one that went to work, and Jason was the one that stayed home and taught, which is not typical of the homeschool community. It happens, but it's not the norm. And so we were able to come at that from a totally different perspective, and I knew that you would be doing that, so I tried not to tell you what to say because I knew where you were going. You were telling me where you were going, and I knew that there was a distinction between those two guys. The three of you did not say the same thing. The first guy was going at it more from a biblical, talking about making sure that you're still, not relying on your church and other people to bring that into, your home, and that, you needed to be the provider, be the priest, be the protector, like all of that stuff. And then the second guy he raised boys. So he was talking more about stuff like that and doing those kind of things. And their focus was more, and I was told this ahead of time, was more about high school. Because a lot of people shy away from homeschool because they worry about high school with kids. They're not going to have their prom. They're not going to have their senior trip. They're not going to have, not going to be able to have a job. They're not going to be able to do... And they were able to dispel some of those myths and share what they did with their boys. And so at the end of the day, their two messages were solely separate from what yours was. And I knew that was going to be, so I wasn't trying to give you words, but I knew that I didn't really have to steer you in any way because I knew ahead of time what was going to be said if everybody stayed on script. So, but it was really nice because we took a poll of the room, and we had a lot that were little kids all the way up to elementary school. That was a good portion of the group. And then there were way more between elementary and middle school down to kindergarten. There was the majority of the room, and then there were just a few high school. So we were able to talk about our experience, from the time that we got kind of shoved into it to when we had to, do stuff with the girls, where we had to go from the ground up. We couldn't, rely on the school, because with Blaze, he was in school through the middle of third grade. So reading I had already covered. He was reading by 3, almost 4. But math, things like that, some of the stuff that he was taught, we didn't have to teach him because he had already been taught in school. When we got to the girls, we had to hit phonics, we had to hit tying shoes, we had to hit all of that stuff that they typically pick up while they're in those first formative years. So that was definitely a twist. But I was really, I talked first. And I kind of set the scene for him to be able to talk about having to take over and doing everything. And when I tell you, he is so entertaining. And what was it you said? When you smacked your head with the microphone. You're talking about it's just if somebody doing something stupid. You smacked yourself in the head. It made this big thump. I was like, well, if everybody was asleep, they're awake now. I'm sorry. But his talk was so entertaining. Everybody out in the audience was just captivated. And if you know Jason, you know that that's not really a surprise. He's a very entertaining person. But it was nice to see him in his element because we've had a lot of junk lately between being sick and, finances and the VA and just different stuff. It's been a series of hardship lately. And to have that win today, to see him capture that win today was really cool. I think he was still riding off the high of yesterday. But it was really, like, he said something, he was like, bam, he hit himself in the forehead. And I was like, oh my God. You're like, hey, dummy.
I think when I was talking about blazing red,
with the
highly flammable.
With the highly flammable.
And he didn't believe it, and I was like, duh.
Duh. It was so. And then you were like, he had sound effects and everything, y'all. Like, he was like, boom, and then he was like, and then he tossed it in the fire and he like into the microphone, and like, it was great. People were like just eating every crumb he was dropping. It was great. I loved it. So, anyway.
I don't think they were eating everything.
I'm telling you, when you go back, because they filmed it, they're going to put a link up for people that weren't able to watch it or to be there. I want you to go back and watch your part of it, because it was very entertaining. It was extremely entertaining. So we were, towards the end of the week, we were pretty busy. But now I'm starting to feel the effects of that. Like,
yeah.
Where, when I came home today after driving, because it's about an hour and 20-minute drive, we got back home and I was like, I have to take a nap. I'm exhausted. I have to. And I crashed for like 45 minutes, an hour. And we're definitely going to be going to bed kind of early tonight, because it definitely takes enough out of you. So, but on the homesteading front, we've been definitely doing some planting. This week, hopefully, I'm going to feel better. I'm going to do a follow-up on all of the stuff that we've got planted. Sweet potatoes. I'm sure some of you are wondering if that's worked at all. So we'll have an update on that.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. We've planted a lot of seeds from MI Gardener. And so we'll give you an idea of how all that has turned out. We got a couple of new play toy things that we want to do some videos on, show everybody.
We got. Unfortunately, we've got leaks in the seed room.
We've got leaks in the seed room.
So I don't know what we're gonna do about that. Probably transplant them.
Probably transplant them. Your daughter got us so good with that. I was like, did you water everything in there? So she went and watered it. She come back and she's like, Mom. I'm like, what? I think we have leaks. We definitely have leaks in the seed room. Now keep in mind that the roofing is not great in there, and we have had a leak in the ceiling before. And so when she said that, obviously my first inclination was to go, what's going on? Because it was raining outside. It was bad raining outside. So of course I jump up and I go over there, and she's cracking up before I even hit the threshold of the seed room. And I was like, leaks, where are the leaks at? And she like pointed to the seed tray, and there's these little leak, little strings popping up out of it. I'm like, I'm going to kill you. She's like, it's just a little fun. I'm like, oh yeah. And still no bat box. That's not going to be coming until spring has sprung. And I'll be able to get that done until it's nice out.
Until I get power out there now. I have no power to the shop.
Yeah. So, yay. Did you cut? Okay.
I've unplugged it.
Okay.
I don't know where the short is, so I unplugged it.
I was wondering if that was what our power bill was about.
No.
I don't know. Anyway.
No, because when you plug it in and you flip the breaker, it automatically trips it again. So there's there's a bad short somewhere.
Gotcha. Shot. Yeah, because she said bat. Remember when we were talking about bats and bat boxes? She kept saying, just a little more stress cortisol. Thanks a lot, kiddo. I know, right? As if I need any more at this point. But yeah, she giggled about it. And of course we laughed about it later. And then she sent her brother a picture. She was like, guess what? We have a leak in the we have a leak in the seed room. And Blaze was like, oh no, is Dad going to fix it? And she's like, I sure hope not. And then she sent him the picture. He's like, gosh, Ladessa. Like, sorry. It was funny for a moment. So, so hopefully this week we start feeling better.
I'm hoping. I know we are going to stay home tomorrow. We're not going to go to church tomorrow because of how bad we feel. We were going to try and celebrate my birthday tomorrow and have some people over, but we're not going to be. One, we forgot to pull the ribs out, but two,
I thought we were going to do hamburgers.
I just don't know if it's a wise thing to do and just completely crash all day tomorrow and see where we are. It's getting very, like I said in the beginning of the live stream, I'm getting very frustrated with this. I've got so much to do, and the fact that I can't walk from my bedroom to the mailbox without getting completely exhausted is absolutely ridiculous. And the fact that by the time that we're done with this live stream, I don't even know if we're going to be able to do an after show. I'm probably not going to have a voice.
Yeah. And
it's extremely frustrating is not even the word that covers it. Because this is the wrong time of year for stuff like this to be happening and going on. I mean, I'm putting oregano on the bottom of our feet. We're putting On Guard and Breathe on my throat. We're trying to.
I'm about to break down and do the fire cider because I was talking to Mimsy. She's in here now, and we were talking about being able to do that. And I think I'm at a point where I'm about to just go get what we need, mix it all together, and just make everybody just.
I'm open for anything.
Yeah, because and it's a funny story, but like I like Takis, and the hot from the chili that cayenne, I think has probably done more for me than anything else I've tried. And I really wasn't trying with that. I was just, and I think my throat seems to react better to extreme heat or extreme cold. And so like I said, I'm almost at the point now where it's time to go nuclear because, I could get some jalapenos or some cayennes or both and, some honey.
I might have to break down and go to the urgent care to make sure that it's not strep, but I don't have a fever. Mm-mm. The only thing I have is this burning sensation in my throat right here, and it hurts so bad.
Yeah.
So I doubt that it's strep, because with strep you run a fever.
Yeah, you should, because it's an infection, but yeah, I don't know. So anyway, fire cider, fermented garlic honey, and medicine cup of peppermint schnapps. Yeah, that sounds about right.
And her shot glass is that Pioneer Woman 2-cup measure.
Excuse me. Yeah. So we haven't done any fermented garlic this time around. That sounds like mono. Great. I hope not.
But I would still have a fever, though, wouldn't I?
I don't know. Zinc and vitamin D. He's already taken vitamin D.
Yeah. I just need to stay on top of it.
That'll burn the throat clear. Yeah. I've
Probably just need to gargle with some Russian vodka.
Well, I gargled with some On Guard and water, just a little bit of water. And it helped me.
See, my problem is when I gargle with something, I usually end up always swallowing it.
Yeah. But I think, we've tried salt water. Not necessarily. Yeah, well, maybe we need to take you.
How do you treat mono?
Because mono
Yeah.
makes you exhausted, doesn't it? Yes, I'm pretty sure it does. We never had mono growing up, so but I knew people who had it. But
I thought you got mono by kissing somebody.
No, they call it the kissing disease, but gargle with moonshine, the real stuff. Don't we still have some of... I think we have some.
What'd she say? Warm salt.
Seriously, that warm salt water. I've tried that. We've tried warm salt water.
Tried that.
Oh, okay. It didn't work for me.
So how do you treat mono? Do you have to have an antibiotic?
My sis had a throat thing, and they tested her for strep and mono, negative for both. Yeah. I'm telling you, the medical community on a whole does not know what this is.
They're lost.
Yeah, they have no idea what it is. And I think until they start keeping cultures of everybody who they test, that it doesn't come up with any answer, and they start testing and seeing that it is the same, we're not going to have any answers. Like, you would think that after a while they'd be like, okay, well, I tested like 8 people today. Oregano is your best antibiotic. I tested 8 people today, and they all had the same symptoms, but they were all negative for everything that we tested.
So we got to get some gel caps and put the oregano in it.
I don't know. Is it just your throat or other symptoms?
Just
do you
my
cough?
Throat. No, I cough.
Mono's a virus, no antibiotics.
Great.
And see, that's what's interesting is that when Carol had hers, they called it a viral infection, but they gave her antibiotics. She said it was viral.
That doesn't make any sense why they
Yeah.
would do that.
They gave her antibiotic, they gave her a steroid, and they gave her an inhaler. And, it is what it is. $80 later, she's still not better. So.
Yep, $80 and a whole week and a half later, she's still not better.
Yeah.
Almost 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Because we took her on a Monday, yeah. Or Tuesday, so almost 2 weeks. Yeah. So the oregano you've been putting on your feet, I imagine it's still getting into your bloodstream. So I still feel like ingesting it versus topically, I still feel like.
So maybe I should rub the oregano stuff on my throat.
No, we don't have either one of those, Mimsy, because everything is caused by parasites. No real virus is ever isolated. Doctors wonder why everything is antibiotic resistant. I know. So the thing that irritates me...
What did Mimsy say?
Got any eye horse paste or fenbendazole, because everything is caused by parasites. No real virus is ever isolated. Steroids are good for anything airway inflammation. Yeah. Well, that's what she said. Is she called it all supportive care. And so, you could boil oregano and inhale the steam with a towel overhead. Like actual oregano leaves, because we have that outside. We could do. Or we could put oregano oil in the water.
It's going to burn my face off.
I don't know. It's a pretty powerful smell.
That's diluted, though.
I know. I don't even think I have any regular... Yeah, okay, she said yes. So I'm assuming that's for the leaves. Because we have a full plant out there that is definitely... Or add a few drops of that eucalyptus too. Doctors are just practicing medicine. They haven't got it right yet. That's a good point. I do love that doTERRA has done that. They have diluted it so that it's not a hot oil. So I don't have to, my knee-jerk reaction when you started doing that, I was like, no. And then I was like, wait a minute. It's okay. But yeah, so hopefully we'll kick this thing by next week. No, it won't burn your face off with oregano leaves. Okay, so maybe we'll try that and see. Yeah. See how that works, because it is a antibacterial and a whole bunch of other stuff, so hopefully that will help. Throw some Vicks in the boiled water too with a towel. We've done that with the Breathe before. Peppermint help clear you out.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we have you. I'm pretty sure we have eucalyptus somewhere.
If not, we got to get it ordered. Mm-hmm. We got to start stocking up on those again.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I think I have Ravensara somewhere, and that's a good one too. So, all right, guys. I can tell you're starting to feel kind of rough.
Yeah. Guys, we're not going to have an after show tonight. Members, I know we've missed like 2 or 3 now, but we'll make it up to you guys.
Maybe do a midweek,
or we'll send soap or something. We'll make it up to you guys, but I just don't.
Jason, can I brag?
Yes, go for it.
Go for it.
Brag away, brother.
If you don't have eucalyptus, Vicks will work. We have the Vicks, so we could do that if we don't have the eucalyptus. Oh. I'm trying to remember what Lost Dude told me his name.
I'm not going to put it out there.
I'm not either. I like to wow. It's down to 215 pounds.
You go, brother.
That is awesome. Keep up the good work.
Job.
What are you doing differently to be able to lose the weight? I'm curious. I have to get Jason to stop eating bananas. Oh, the calories are going to kill you. I want to see what he says. Castor oil rubbed on the throat and covered with a cloth might help speed things up. Okay, I have some of that. Believe it or not.
You got castor oil?
Mm-hmm. I use it in some of my soap.
Really?
Yep. Yes, I have castor oil in my women's soap. It's very good for skin. So.
Did not know that.
Mm-hmm. I have to search for it to be able to find it, though. Low sodium, less than 1,000 milligrams a day, and no corn fructose.
That's awesome, brother. Good job.
That's really cool.
What is your goal weight?
Yeah, where are you trying to get to? While we're waiting, I need some hot tea. I'm about ready to.
Yeah, tell them to make me some of that throat tea, too.
Carol, start some hot water for tea. Hot tea. $190, so not too much more.
Almost there, brother.
That's awesome. I'm excited to see that happen. I know that you'll be happy. 250. That's where you're starting.
That's where I'm starting. I weighed in this morning at 250.
Yeah.
But of course, I hadn't pooped, so.
Oh wow. On January 19th, you were 250?
Oh, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
Fast.
35 pounds in over a month. Right? Wow. Or was that last? I don't know. We'll find out in a second. He'll tell us.
Yeah.
But that's a lot.
Yeah.
But to me, if it's low sodium and no corn fructose, that is sustainable. You can sustain that. So, I mean, some of these, they say if you lose them fast, it's because the diet's not a sustainable diet. But that one he could sustain. If that's what it is, then he could keep that up. So.
Well, that's a good job, brother. I'm proud of you.
Very cool. I'm excited for you on that one. All right, well.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming in and hanging out with us. And thank you for, You guys still hitting up the old videos. And commenting and giving them a like. Niana, you did a really good job for us this week. Thank you very much. And we will definitely be trying to put some videos out this week if we're feeling better. Hopefully we will be.
Yeah.
And so thank you guys again so much. And we'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye. God bless.